Hi, Drac. What do you do? What is your extra hobby?
Well, I mean, you get the obvious out of the way: the music, the game stuff, reading, and I've always had a thing of collecting like I mean, both of these things, but like either like esoteric, like a weird, obscure, like occult. Not that I'm like into it that way, but like just for like the historical, just the value of owning it, or like really old prints of like classic books.
All right.
So you've got like the random books of like, hey, this is from this mage from the 14th century and like his grimoire. Like I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna summon the fucking demon with this. I'm like, no, this is just interesting to have because it's like, okay, well, this is how this dude in that time period saw fit. It's just interesting to me. And then the old books is kind of like, yeah, I could go fucking get a standard fucking edition of, I don't know, David Copperfield or Three Musketeers or whatever, but it's like, oh, cool, I've got a version from like 1930 where like the binding is falling apart, but it's just still really. There's that. The woodworking, obviously, not even just making the weapons and shit. Metalworking, although I can't do that as fully as I'd like because my apartment complex, I don't have anywhere to set up a forge, obviously.
Just do it
like
on your
inside, like inside, but like my patio is like
Hashtag balcony forge.
it's not. Well, it's tiny, but it's also like I'm on the ground floor, so like all of that would go up, and yeah, it's just like generally speaking, if it's like fire, I'm just not fucking with that.
Yeah, fair
I mean, honestly, at this point, it's gotten the reenactment stuff's been big. Because like it's more than just like we put on outfits and we go fight in the field. Like it's actual like cool. Do you want that? Okay, it's like cool. You got to get pants for your kit. Cool. So you're doing a kit from like this region from the year like 870 AD to like 960. Cool. And you're doing this region, which is what would now be like Denmark and shit. They called it Danelaw back then. But it's like, okay, cool. So you're doing this region. So you have to use. So if you're just wanting pants, you have to have either this kind of pants, A, B, or C, and no other pants will do outside of like surrounding regions because, these are the only three kinds of pants that we have, documented like historical finds for. So like everything has to have like a source to some degree or another. Or if it doesn't have like an immediate, yes, this is exactly what it is source, like you better have like a solid justification for having it that makes sense within that time period. Like the kit that I'm starting out doing, I'd be like, back in the day, it'd be like, lower middle class. So like not super fancy, but not like dirt poor either. Like a fairly successful farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, he's not going to have like big fancy embroidered, like really brilliantly dyed like tunics or anything. He might have one or two things that are like blue or whatnot, but it's mostly going to be, like your earthen tones or like your greens. Nothing like super exorbitant. Like he
has a loincloth and a spear, and that's it.
You're not wrong.
And that's
but it would be like, okay, he might have like a really fine, by his standards, for like a noble class, it would be like bottom of the barrel. But like he might have like a really nice kit that he goes to like big fancy feasts in, and like that one thing is like a treasure to him. Or like he's got a helmet that he found when he went on a raid or whatever. Like that would be a treasure to this guy, or it would be like a family heirloom. So it's like it's fun to go like, okay, cool, I need this item so I can do this. Cool, and I've spent a week researching what the hell it's gonna be, and that's eating up all my time, but it's fun.
Stone, are you taking a whiz? Are you taking a pee?
No.
It sounds like there's running water in the background.
No, I'm not doing anything.
That's suspiciously specific denial.
No, I'm not pissing into my toilet that's 2 feet away from me.
Everybody be quiet. We're going to listen and see how much longer he can go before he can't pinch it shut anymore.
No, I actually really have to go to the bathroom, so I'm actually holding it in.
You could go, and it could be... Well, actually, no. Brock, what do you do?
I really enjoy doing like scale model kits of like Gundam and different Japanese mecha series. I've been playing some card games with my friends recently, but when I was doing stuff more actively with my friends from high school, we'd go and do karaoke at local bars and stuff, and that's a lot of fun.
I've always wanted to do karaoke. Stone and I always wanted to do a duet for System of a Down, just like put on a fucking song and just sing it.
Well, that's what I appreciate about the environment of it, you know, is that like it's laid back enough that you feel comfortable, like, yeah, I can go do this, and if I don't do very well, that's okay, because there are people here who are so drunk they won't care.
Yeah.
That's very true.
All right. Why
I
the
wish I
name
could
Korn?
do scale models, dude. That shit's awesome.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I just don't have the patience for it.
It's very therapeutic once you get into it. Like, I've got several shelves full of them now, and like a pile of boxes that still need to be built. But
I mean, I can do it, but it's one of those things. Like, to me, it's like a even more. It's the same reason I don't do puzzles. Like, yeah, it's enjoyable, but much like putting together IKEA furniture, there's gonna come a point when I don't know where a certain piece is, and it's gonna piss me off so much I don't want to fucking do it anymore.
yeah, that's some of my friends really got into it and loved it, and then some of my friends had that exact reaction.
Why the name Korn and Kock? They spelled cock.
Because they sound with corn on the cobs.
No, Korn and Kock.
Korn
But
and Kock.
they spelled cock K-C-O-K. And
K-sock?
how did it all started? So thanks for your subpar English, bud. Anyway, it
Be a dick, man.
just
Don't be a cock.
don't be. Thanks.
Hey.
Don't be a cock. K-C-O-K. Thanks for the question. It got
Yeah,
started.
Casey is an okay guy.
It's called Korn and Kock because my last name is Korn and Stone's last name is Kock. Well, that's the first half of his last name, so
Stonecock.
there you go. That's the
Well,
answer.
no, we have an origin episode, so they just have to go and listen to that.
Okay, that's like episode like 14, like Korn Kock Origins. The thumbnail has a pair of Converse in them. Go watch that one. Like
The
literally,
deep lore.
it's literally like, oh, watch the Korn and Kock episode where the thumbnail has that. It's like a matching picture game. Just like go watch that one and you'll figure it out.
A matching picture game.
Anyway, okay, this one was definitely written by Mr. Kurum. No doubt about it. Thank you, Mr. Kurum, for your question. If there were two guys on the moon, in parentheses, standing at least 6 feet apart, and one killed the other with a rock, would that be fucked up or what?
Yes, it would be.
I mean,
Well, it depends. It depends. Did the other dude deserve it?
that's not in the question, so you have to make it up in your head. I assume there must
So-
be a good fucking reason for
Okay.
backing
So-
up.
No. Okay. You want it to be made up? Okay. We'll go down this rabbit hole. So pick up the rock. Pick up the rock, Alex. Grasp it firmly. Have you done this yet?
Oh my god, no, we're not doing another one of these. We're not doing
So,
another one of these.
my question is, did the rock kill the other person, or did the not wearing helmets in space kill them, or did the not wearing helmets in space and then sneezing and getting the other guy infected with COVID kill them?
Yeah, in
Or-
order to get close to him, he would have to break social distancing, which is a big no-no, even on the moon.
What if the one that died? What if the one that died is actually the one that threw the rock? Because think about like space for a second, right? So like, let's say he threw the rock and he either completely missed or it just like bounced off the other dude. We're gonna assume spacesuits, I guess, for reasons, and it didn't kill him. But like because of how gravity works in space, like he threw that rock.
It
So-
circumnavigated the moon.
No, well, one, it circumnavigates the moon, but also he is going to go backwards at the same velocity that which he threw that rock. So eventually his own rock is going to hit him back in the back of the head.
This is getting like too Neil deGrasse Tyson for me. I don't like this.
Let's get Chris Hadfield on the line, see what he thinks.
I'd be down with that. He's a cool dude.
He is.
And blings.
I saw him in person once. Very nice guy.
So yeah, the one that died is actually the one that had the rock thrown at him. But the reason he died was because he saw the other dude. Like they were just playing catch. It's not even a big deal. But the other dude fucked up his throw because he saw an alien flashing his dick in the background or something. I don't fucking know. And he flew around the moon backwards and got hit in the head by his own rock, and it knocked him out. And it just was so embarrassing that the other dude just took off his helmet and suffocated out of sheer embarrassment. So yes, that's pretty fucked up.
He who casts. Well, how's that quote go? He who casts the first stone
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
There you go. There you go. Doesn't apply to this scenario at all. I just thought it was funny. Anyway.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. What if the guy that threw the rock was Cotton Hill? Let he who is without shin cast the first stone.
Okay.
What's
then
even
I'll
funnier?
quote-
So if Alex were to theoretically go commit vandalism without stone, let he who is without stone commit the first sin. But then,
All right.
if he's
Well,
throwing rocks into a glass house, is he casting rocks into a glass house? Or if he goes inside the broken glass, is he casting stones from outside of a glass house? Now it's this whole quandary where we've got two things happening, and they're two turns of phrase, and we don't know what's going on anymore.
What if he goes inside the glass house with a projector, and he hooks it up, and on the wall of the glass house he casts an image of Stone's face?
Oh.
all
And
right,
then he
well,
throws stone out of the glass house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote Thomas Jefferson. Get bent, loser.
I'm gonna quote.
Yeah. That's totally something he would say. Yep,
I'm gonna quote Abraham Lincoln. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Anyway.
I'm gonna quote Yoda. Next fucking question.
How big is cock? With a K. So
Yes.
Stone, how big are you?
About 5'10", 5'11" on a good day.
I love when people say that. It's like, yeah, I'm this high on this day, but if I'm in a good mood.
Yeah. Well, it's true. That's what
Okay.
happens when you're not 6 foot,
This next
but you're close.
This next one is not a question, but I know
I'm
who sent it. It
5'7",
was
shut
fucking.
the fuck up.
Thanks, Rain. Thanks, Rain. I appreciate this not question but statement. Five Guys is the best place ever. Thanks, Rain. Really
Hey
appreciate it.
Rain, jump in front of a train because you have no taste in burgers.
Also, the Donut Mill.
The
Donut Mill is the best restaurant ever made. Go
Look-
to Red Deer. Go to the Donut Mill.
Sounds good.
Look, I'll extend an olive branch. If you want to say that Five Guys is your favorite
Okay,
restaurant,
sure.
go for it. Go for it. That is totally fine. But the fact that you're
Yes,
saying
you
it's the
gotta-
best
yeah,
place
yes.
ever, that's where I draw the line. Because you're absolutely wrong. I don't want to take
That's
out another.
names.
I want to take out a fucking loan at the bank just so I can eat Five Guys on my lunch break. Thank you.
It's like I don't even shit on Five Guys. Well, I mean I do, but it's just like Five Guys is just a relatively decent burger joint. It's not fucking be all.
It's
It's overhyped, is what it is, and that's why that's why I give Rain a lot of shit. It's just like Five Guys is just so fucking overhyped as a burger joint. It's like they're not worth. It's to me, it's not worth that hype. They're not
It's
bad.
like when
but
it's
they're
like when
not-
someone in my university art school classes explains to me why Mac is the greatest computer brand ever, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, if you're doing like art
No.
or video editing, and that's it.
But
And even
Macs
for
don't
that,
get
like
viruses.
there's comparable alternatives. You know, like
Oh, there
It
are. But
should.
But as somebody who like avidly loves to shit on Macs for, the slew of things that you can shit on a Mac for, I give them credit where they're due for like the very small, niche, specific set of tasks that they're built to do. They're fucking great at. It's just anything that's not those like four things. They're fucking awful.
But can you play Doom on a Mac?
Yeah, but you have to download Wine, and you have to download all the subsets of Wine. You have to reconfigure everything just so you can run Wine, because you've got to make it run a backlogged, compatibility mode fucking emulator of Windows. So yeah, you can play Doom on a Mac. You just have to literally go to hell and back to fucking do it.
sounds like the plot of the next Doom game.
Stone, did you ever?
Yeah, at which point, why fuck even play the game? You've already gone to hell and come out victorious by fucking getting the game to run. Like, why bother? You won. You won Doom. To go home.
Lamau.
Stone, did you ever tell the story of the Whataburger place, where the cops were there?
This is
Oh my
already a good
God.
story.
I remember some parts of it. Basically, what happened was, it was me, Russell, Alex. We go to Whataburger, and it pains me to say this, but sometimes it can be a real pain in the ass eating with people. And the biggest one is, I like to eat in my car when I want to. I don't want to eat in my car all the time. So what happened was, we went to Whataburger. It's open 24/7. So we got there like midnight, 1 a.m. I didn't want to eat in the car, so I said, I'm going to eat inside. And then the other guys were like, well, wait. And I said, no, I'm going to eat inside. Sorry, you can sit in the car or come in with me. I'd recommend coming in with me. So we go inside, we're eating, and I forget which happens first, but I'll just pick the cops. There were 2 cops that came in and sat on the other side of the restaurant. And one of them had like a laptop, but it's like a laptop for cops.
Like one of
'cause it
those
didn't look
big
like a normal
bulky
one.
things that they have in their fucking Escalades that they type on while driving, even though that's super irresponsible, but it's okay because they're a cop.
The
Yeah,
cop
the ones that are like
computers.
attached to like a fucking arm in the center console.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Barry Bonds of computers. So anyways, so they're just over there minding their own business, and I forget how it even came up, but
I think you said, I wonder if they can play games on it, and I was like, oh, I got no fucking games on it.
Oh, I know that one.
And I looked at Stone and I was like, Stone, go ask them if they can play Doom on that computer. And Stone said, okay. So he got up, went to the cop and was like, hey, can you play Doom on that? And the cop, as he walks up, turns the computer away from Stone so he can't see what's on the screen. And he's like, what's Doom? He's like, I don't know, it's like a game. He's like, I don't know, maybe. And then Stone's like, alright, and goes and sits back down. That's the end of the story.
well, I thought I was telling the story.
See, that's a quality of life thing that I think police officers are entitled to. I think they should be able to have Doom on their computers.
Yeah, maybe if they're maybe if they're playing, the go on a fucking shooting rampage, revenge, rip and tear fantasy and Doom. Maybe some of the more fucked up members in the police force won't do that to people.
Ooh, political.
Good point.
Yeah, honestly, I agree that like it's weird seeing stories out of the States on stuff sometimes living here because like obviously bad stuff happens everywhere, but like it just seems like the frequency of it, even with the difference in population, is like, whoa, there is some scary things that happen there.
All right, one more question before we get to these frickin' injury stories at last. Hey, Korn, and I guess Kock too. What are your favorite movies? Mine is Pulp Fiction. Chronicle.
Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls.
What about you guys? You're in here too. Tell us your favorite movies.
Oh,
Favorite movie?
Short Circuit.
Wait, what was that?
Short Circuit.
What?
Oh my fucking god, Short Circuit.
Favorite movie. That is a 3-way because I'm a film nut, so it's like that is a 3-way tie because I literally can't pick between them. 4-way tie of Nosferatu because it basically started horror. Goodfellas, Gangs of New York, and John Carpenter's The Thing. I cannot decide between those 4 which one is my favorite.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good selection.
Good picks.
My second favorite movie of all time is Leprechaun in the Hood.
That movie is so fucking ridiculous, and I love every second of it.
Stone got both of those movies for me. Both of the In the Hood movies.
Oh my God.
And we both watched them together.
Now I'm inclined to ask, have you seen any of the Ginger Dead Man?
Oh yeah, I've
No.
seen the trailers for it.
Okay,
Oh
what
my
about
God.
what about the Evil Bong?
No, haven't heard of that one.
It's exactly what it sounds like, and there's a crossover, dude. Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the cover and post that in our thing real quick because it is so fucking amazing.
On the note of films that are actually good instead of me being jokey, because I do like Short Circuit, but it's a goofy film. 1 Week is a really good movie.
Yeah. No, that's a shitty one.
All right, Stone, what were you gonna say?
I don't even remember. Moment's gone.
I love how the little leprechaun, he's like, "Ah, my weed, dude," and he steals the bong and then he stabs the dude in the chest with the bong. Not even like a piece of the bong. He just the whole bong just into his chest.
Go right through him.
That's such a bad movie.
All right, here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
This is all you need to know about this movie. Whatever you think happens in this movie based on this poster, you're right.
Oh my fucking god.
Hold on, let me see.
I guess.
No.
I guess when you're editing the video, just throw this up on the screen real quick.
Yeah.
Ginger Dead Man versus Evil
my
Bong,
God.
and Hell rode with them. It doesn't look like an evil bong. It looks like a confused bong, like a dumbfounded bong. What the hell?
Who the
I
fuck is this
appreciate
dude?
the like
Hold on,
Doctor
that's-
Strangelove reference.
That's not even bad. Like, let me show you what the bong looks like in the fucking movie. It's so much better.
Oh, okay, here. What the fuck? What is that?
That's the evil bong.
Oh my god. It looks like Cruella de Vil on an acid trip.
Yes.
It looks like the
God.
villain from Howl's Moving Castle.
A little bit, and then that is fighting this motherfucker, and that's the whole movie.
Oh, I've seen that picture before. Oh, that's where it's
I
from.
gotta get a version of his face and like make the teeth really shiny and give it to Kieran and see if he'll fucking use it.
Why does he look like? Why does he look like a shriveled up horse
I
cock?
was about to say a shriveled up fucking foreskin.
I'm sorry, but what PR guy said no, dude, that's a perfect design. Let's roll with that.
PR guy.
You
Watch
think that's
that be
bad?
Thanos'
Imagine what it
favorite
looks like.
movie.
Imagine what it looks like in motion.
Thanos is like,
Oh my
on
God.
my days off, I really like to watch Gingerbread Man. Gingerbread Man.
Ginger Dead Man.
Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong. It's my favorite film.
Alright, I can't take it. I gotta go to the bathroom. I've been holding it in way too long. I'll be right back.
Alright, dude. See you in a minute.
Okay, now that he's gone. Stone's a really nice guy, huh? I like Stone. He's cool.
I want to be Korn on the cock, if you know what I'm saying. Alright. Enough deliberation. We gotta get to these fucking injury stories, or we're literally never going to get to them.
For sure.
Alright.
You wanted to take one? Because I told the last one. You want to do the next one?
I mean,
What?
I guess, because, like, I don't even really have any injury stories that I can think of, besides my pinky that's fucked up forever. But, I mean, I've told that one. I don't think I've told it on Korn and Kock, but I've said it to, like, a bunch of people. Whatever. I'll say it anyway, because that's, like, the only one that I could think of off the top of my head. So, in high school, I had a girlfriend, and I found out way too late that she was a psycho whore. And, just one day, it's International Free Pancake Day at IHOP. It's not Pancake Day like it is in the fucking UK, where you like take a bunch of like moldy pancake mix in your pantry and make a nice meal, right? I went, and we were all going to the one at a mall near our house, and the only person who could drive at the time was our friend Ben. So we got him in the driver's seat, his little brother in the passenger seat, 4 people in the back seat, and then me and my girlfriend in the trunk. And I see this girl from one of my classes that I like to meme around with, and I yell out the window. I don't even remember what I yelled, but I think I used the word bitch. And it was like a little dichotomy we had going on. Like, she'd call me a dick, I'd call her a bitch. It was all wholesome, good fun, insulting each other. And I don't think she heard me, but my girlfriend certainly heard me, and she didn't know that I was talking, that I was friends with this person. She just thought I was calling this random person a bitch. So she grabs my pinky finger on my right hand, and she
I don't
gets
like where this is going.
super mad. And she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why the fuck are you yelling at people? Well, are you a fucking child?" And I'm like, I start laughing because I just think it's really funny how mad she's getting. And the more I laugh, the angrier
The more
she
pissed
gets,
she's
and the
getting.
more she bends my pinky backwards the way it's not supposed to bend. And I just keep laughing. She just keeps bending until suddenly, and everything goes silent. And like even Ben and his little brother look back and they're like, "What the fuck was that?" And all of a sudden, I stop laughing just from one second to the next. Done. I look down at my pinky and I'm like, "Ah! This hurts! What the fuck did you do?" And she,
Oh, you told the story about when your ex broke your pinky?
yeah, because that's like the only injury story I can really think of. So we drive to our friend Mayor's house, And we get out of the car, and everyone's like memeing around, joking around, and they're like, dude, what the fuck? That was a really loud crack. Are you okay? And I'm like, I think you broke my pinky finger. And it's like, and she's like, well, good. You shouldn't be yelling at people from inside the car. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like all of a sudden my hand like starts turning purple and swollen and like just my racked with unbelievable pain. And they're like, all right, let's go get pancakes now. And I'm like, shouldn't I go to the fucking emergency room to make sure that I'm okay? And they're like, no, pancakes. So we go to IHOP, and at this point, my entire hand, like, if I move it at all, it's just, I can't do it. I can't use my right hand at all. So everyone's in there, having the time of their lives, eating their short stacks, and I'm just sitting there in misery. I can't even pick up the fork or the knife to cut a piece of my flapjacks off to eat it. And my girlfriend, she's like, No Remorse by Metallica. She's just sitting there. She didn't cut it up for me. No sorry. No, oh geez, maybe I went a little bit too far. Maybe I should like,
a little bit.
And
Jesus.
then so I come home to my mom after not being able to enjoy my free pancakes. And I go to her and I'm like, Mom? And she goes, yeah, what's up? And I go, I don't know how I should tell you this, but my girlfriend broke my pinky finger. And she's like, what the fuck? So we like drive immediately to like the emergency care near my house. And I go in for an x-ray, and they're like, oh, it's not just broken. She, like, literally shattered your pinky finger. We don't know how that happened, but it's, like, in pieces.
Like the whole thing, or like just the joint at the base?
I would say... No, literally the whole fucking thing. The whole fucking thing is crooked.
Was she, like, squeezing really hard as she was bending?
Yes.
Ah, that'll do it.
Yep. So basically...
Did she ever apologize for that?
Nope. She didn't.
I must say, based on what he said about her, I don't think that's a likely scenario.
Nope.
Dude, why didn't you break up with her the day of?
Literally,
I mean,
everybody. I was a fucking simp back then. You have no idea. I was like, I was defending her so hard. I was such a cuck. I was like, you know what? It was an accident.
Maybe it was an accident. Maybe I was being an asshole.
No.
How
Looking
can you
back,
defend
I
that?
should have fucking drop kicked her as soon as we got out of the car and said, walk home, bitch, and then, like, left. But that didn't happen.
No, but you could have just been like, alright, this is over. What do you mean it's over? Gee, I don't know, you only broke my pinky, literally. You know how people say, oh, it's not like they, broke something. No, you did. You literally did.
I'm such a petty bitch. The only recourse in my mind that doesn't involve violence in that scenario is, like, make like a fucking like plaster mold of like a pinky finger, write our relationship on it, walk up to her and just break it in half, drop it at her feet and walk away.
Well, that's just funny. That's just funny. You don't have a sense of humor if you don't think that's funny.
See, if I was as witty as you, Drac, I probably would have done that, but...
Yeah, DV and abuse and anything is never cool. Every time I hear that story, I'm just like in disbelief.
I
know, right?
Plus, to be fair, in all honesty, judging by how you've described her and like the kind of person she sounded like at the time, I feel like it's deserved as just like a fucking, like, cool, you physically hurt me. Maybe this is just like caveman DNA, but it's just like, okay, well, you hurt. I'm just gonna fucking, clock you in the jaw. Based on how you described it, I feel like she would have turned that into a massive fucking like sexism-related thing. And
no doubt. She had like a bunch of fucking like 27-year-old homeless ex-Marine type friends that probably would have shot up my house if I had done anything in return. So you know what? Maybe it was also me kind of in fear of myself and my family.
That's fair.
But yeah.
That's fair. But,
I totally forgot about the story where I got hit by a car and like that entire day was like the worst day of my life. But yeah, that's my broken pinky story.
Interesting.
Good times. Good times.
Cock got any injury stories?
Well, I've never really injured anything.
That's exactly what I said.
I mean, I've got like annoying. How about annoying little bump stories? How about that? Can I tell one of those?
Honestly, like as long as it's like even mildly entertaining and it involves something happening to the body that's
Oh
not
yeah.
necessarily pleasant, I feel like it works. I mean, like, even if you don't have like a big one, like I'm sure me or fucking Brock do, it's just like, you know, it's like everybody's gone around and like given a story, so like not including you would be kind of like dick.
No. I got one. Uh, Hold on. Let me send this message really quick.
Okay, well, we've got a quick second.
Uh,
I can't not wait to go to the bathroom anymore, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Good
I need-
timing.
So now that Drac's gone,
Drac's really cool, and I like Drac.
That's the right answer, Brock. I like it. No.
real
What
talk,
I'm gonna
real
tell
talk.
is
do any of you know any
Yeah, go.
trees? Do any of you know any trees? We gotta send a hit out on Drac.
No, but I have a great name for this podcast that won't fly.
Oof.
Can you imagine, like, the minute we finish recording this, we're all powering down, our machine's turning in for the night, and, like, turn off the lights outside the window. Great Deku tree.
There's a big tree. No. What would be the best is right when we're done, it's like, oh, I forgot to hit record.
Oh, would that be a kick in the dick? But
Do you,
no,
did you guys ever see that terrible Slender Man movie where, like, the
Yes.
girl gets stabbed with tree branches for some reason?
Oh my god. Or like,
That's what I was thinking of.
wait, are you talking about the end of the movie where she makes love to the tree and she becomes one with the tree
What
and then
the-
just disappears?
Yeah.
No, seriously, that's like, she doesn't even look like she's in pain. She kind of looks like a fly's in the room and she's like really annoyed, and then she just turns into a tree, and that's how the movie ends.
Oh, right. It's earlier in the movie where the other girl gets pulled out the window by the tree.
What in the
Oh.
fuck did I just walk back in on?
We were talking about
need to worry about that.
trees that stab people again, and I was talking about the terrible Slender Man movie.
Yeah, because I just come back and it's like, yeah, she was fine, but like, and then she turns into a tree, and that's how the movie ends. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's
We're either talking about a terrible horror movie or a very successful indie movie. It's one or the other.
Right?
right. So my thing is, a couple years ago, there's this joke that everyone, or most people, 99% of the people in my family have been stung by a scorpion, and I hadn't, and I was proud of that. And then, of course, I'm in the shower, birthday suit and everything. I'm just standing there, washing my hair, minding my own business. I don't know what song I was listening to in my head, but it was probably a good one. And then it was a little sting on my toe, but sharp enough to know that this wasn't just a normal sting. This is like something bigger. And I looked down, and the shower's on, keep in mind. I looked down, and there's a scorpion with its tail up in the air, like going at me, trying to approach me. And the problem was the water was pushing him in my direction.
Oof.
Oh no.
But the thing is, I'm buck naked, so I got Willis and Doodleberries flying around. I can't just jump out the shower. I can't just move too quick because I could slip and fall. I could, definitely slip and fall and party with the scorpion down there. So now I'm thinking to myself, ow, my foot really hurts. So I lift it up, and this scorpion's coming at me. So I'm thinking to myself, I gotta, kill this thing. So I grab the nearest shampoo bottle, and I'm bending down with one foot, keep in mind, because one foot's up in the air, and I'm trying to kill this thing, and I hit it a few times, and I think I got it. It looked like it was just plain dead, and then my foot didn't hurt after that, and I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid. That's what it's like. So I get out of the shower, and I walk out. I put a towel on, and I go out, and I'm just like, hey, I just got stung by a scorpion, so, what's the procedure? Because they've all been stung. They know what to do. And right about that time, that's when this little annoying pain kicked in. And I'm like, oh, that kind of hurts. Now that hurts. Okay, this really hurts. What is happening to my foot down there? and it's like the whole left foot was just this ball of pain for like 10-15 minutes. It just hurt. I couldn't even walk on it. And I got a bag of ice, and this is right before I'm going to bed too. So yeah, go have a good night's sleep after this. So basically, I asked them, what am I supposed to do? And they said, put the bag of ice in the sock, put the sock on, and go to bed. And I'm like, all right, that seems a little weird, but okay. So I do that, and I wake up the next morning. My foot doesn't hurt, but it's numb because it's frozen.
Stone, would you say that you had cold feet?
More like cold fucking foot. CFF. Well, I thought that was really funny, Stone. Thank you, whoever said that.
Comedy wizard.
So anyway,
comedy wizard. Let's put him there.
yeah, play the clip.
Put the
Everybody
comedy
clapping.
wizard. It's been a minute
There we
since
go.
comedy wizard.
So basically, it ended with I woke up the next day and my foot, I just couldn't feel anything. And then as the day went on, I slowly got feeling back in my foot, and by noon, it was all good. But yeah, now I've been stung by a scorpion.
I've never been stung.
I'm kind of wondering. That's actually amazing considering where you all live. I'm kind of wondering what kind got you.
I think all I remember was it was a little one. It didn't look very big. Well, I mean,
Was it like
You could-
was it like tan with like a darker brown back?
no, it was tan but light brown, and it was really small. That's all I remember.
Did it look like this?
Not really, but maybe.
God,
I
now
don't know,
I'm
it was a
getting
while
anxious.
ago.
I'm like looking around on my floor. I'm like, there better not be a fucking scorpion creeping up on me right now.
Well, I was just looking at
Yeah.
curiosity. I'm like, what the most like? I'm like, okay, well, what are the most common ones that get into houses in that state? And it's like, oh, well, you've got the Arizona bark scorpion, which is the most venomous in the fucking country, and it can cause pain with its venom that lasts between like 24 to 72 hours, and it hurts like a bitch, but it doesn't last very long. It's usually not super dangerous, and like it's not gonna kill you. I'm like, okay, it might be that.
That could be it. That body,
And
though,
The
looks
door
pretty
gets
big,
kicked
or pretty
open
wide.
to Stone's room, and dude in a full yellow martial arts gear with mask comes in and goes, "Get over here!"
But instead of
Is
like
that
throwing his hand out for a big spear, he just points out like one finger, and like a really tiny spear comes out and just right in your toe.
And then just walks away.
Yeah.
Flawless
Yeah.
Alright, see you
victory.
next time.
That kind of looks like it. But yeah, and that does make sense. But yeah, it didn't hurt. I think from what I was told, it was a little one. It wasn't like one of the really big scorpions where the stings last for days, because that's happened before. And this might be common knowledge. I don't really know, but my 85-year-old grandmother got stung by a scorpion on her leg, and during the night she went to scratch it, and
Oh, I
the
don't know where
pain.
this is going.
Yeah, and the pain in her ankle somehow went right into her hand. So now her hand and her ankle had the same pain, but all she did was just like touch it, and it was everything that was in her ankle went into her hand at the same time. I've never heard of anything like that before.
Toxins and venoms are painful.
Yeah, no, and she's like 85 years old and still handling it like a pro. So that's my quote unquote injury story. I mean, there's the wisdom tooth story, but that's pretty normal, you know.
My face when I haven't gotten my wisdom teeth pulled yet.
I haven't either.
I mean,
Yeah,
you don't
it's-
have
it's
to.
pretty
You don't have to unless it like fucks your teeth up and it's painful. So I mean,
Oh, mine
Yeah.
sure did.
Eventually, I know I'm gonna have to because like they don't like hurt unless they're like moving, which is like once every couple of months. So like at that point, I was like, okay, they're just my jaw hurts for like 2 days. It's fine. And eventually, I'm gonna have to get them though because it's like one, they're impacted, so they're almost fucking horizontal, and I've got two. I've got the two sets of two on top and bottom. So it's like, okay, this is interesting. And of course, it's worse because I have my father's fucking teeth, where like the roots have like the little J hooks on them. So that instantly makes removal more of a bitch, and it just like, not really feeling getting them removed because of that, unless it's absolutely necessary. Plus, the lidocaine doesn't work on me the way it's like supposed to. I mean, it works, but it lasts about half as long as it should. It's like anytime I have to get like a filling, like I'm getting like 2 or 3 of the shots in the fucking gum because it wears off literally in the middle of the procedure. So I'm just thinking, like, if that happens during, I mean, granted, I'll be knocked out, so that's a little bit different. Unless it's one of the ones they don't knock you out. But I'm like, the possibility of going lucid in the middle of a wisdom tooth procedure, that does not sound appealing to me.
Oh, the freezing wore off during one of my root canals midway through when they were burning out the nerves.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
Not a fun time. I was like, what's that burning smell? Oh, it's me.
Oh, that just put a fucking shield on my spine thinking about that. Oh,
Yep,
God.
That's the thing. I don't really mind going to the dentist, but I'm very apprehensive about actually getting my wisdom teeth pulled because I hate the idea of like that happening. Obviously, like, everything wore off. Now I'm fucking in the most uncomfortable. I have the most uncomfortable feeling I've ever felt in my mouth right now, and I can't tell them to stop.
Yeah.
But
oh, dude, it's a trip. You gotta do it. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
dude, you gotta get your fucking wisdom teeth pulled, dude.
Well, no, I'll be honest with myself. One of the main reasons I don't want to get it done is because I'm a smoker. I don't have any fucking intention of quitting anytime soon. I know it's bad for me. I don't care. It's a drug. I'm addicted. Fuck with whatever they want. I enjoy it. You can't do that after a wisdom tooth procedure because you'll get dry socket. Now, I've had other smoker friends over like, oh yeah, you can still do it. You just gotta like put it up to your nose and inhale that way. And I'm like, I'm not doing that because I have fucking dignity. Well,
how long do you have to not smoke for?
It's like 72 hours to like a week, depending, I think.
72
I've heard
hours.
it advised that you should go for like 2 weeks after something to avoid dry socket.
I think I've got that wrong. Yeah, if you have to wait a minimum of 72 hours after your extraction, and even longer if possible.
Yeah, because like the thing that happens is like, so I've got a higher pH acidity for like my saliva, right? So like my teeth have an issue where I've had like 16 different fillings fall out now, which sucks. Because like they've just rotted away, right? And what's happened is that when we got the wisdom teeth procedure done, I had to take stuff that made, 1, my mouth less acidic, and 2, made it so that I wasn't going to get dry socket because they were like, the odds are very high if you don't take this weird magic dentist man serum.
Yeah, I'm curious, what kind of filling did they use? Do they still do metal, or did they use that like UV light resin shit that like matches your tooth color?
UV resin stuff, and it cracks and breaks all the time.
Yeesh. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I think it's partly that it's not being installed properly, is my inkling.
Ooh. That sucks. You gonna sue him?
It's one of those things where, like, for the amount of result I'd get doing it, it's not worth it.
Actually, when you're done with this one, I have a dentist-related injury story. It's not me, but it's a fucking doozy. So when you're done with that, I'll go into that one. It's a fucking good one.
Yeah, that's the end of that one.
Okay, so it's actually my father.
My dad.
He was my dad. So he was he was going to get it was 1 or 2 teeth extracted. This was several years ago, and I don't remember the name of the place that did it because if I did, I would absolutely say it and put them on full blast because fuck them. They were going for an extraction. I think it was like a molar. And remember what I just said about me getting like my teeth genes, at least in like the shape of him, where they have like the hooks on the bottom of the roots. So obviously you can imagine extraction is a little bit more difficult in that case because they have hooks. So they're going to, and his are notoriously hard to extract anyway. So they're going and he's getting it extracted. And as you would expect, it's not coming loose. Okay. I don't remember all of what they tried. I think they might have tried the cut the gum and try and loosen it out. They might have tried like the split the tooth into like 2 or 3 parts or whatever and pull the pieces out, and that didn't work. So finally, as far as I can remember how it was described to me at the time, the tooth was so fucking in there that whatever kind of pliers or dental, whatever the fuck appliance they were using, they literally had 2 hands on it, squeezing super tight, pulling, while the other person or whatever is holding my father's like chest or head in place so it doesn't move, and the person pulling, as it was described to me, and I have no reason to doubt that this is what happened because of what it did, has one foot up on the chair and is using it as leverage to pull out.
Oh my god.
Obviously, you can imagine this is not going to go somewhere well.
No.
So
Oh
they
my
got the
God.
tooth. They got the tooth, and about a dime-sized chunk of his mandible.
Oh my fuck.
Oh.
Now, for whatever
Yikes.
reason, they just decided patch it up and send him the fuck home.
Yeah,
What?
no, let's just take it off of the tooth. Let's peel it off of the tooth and just like pat it back in. Yeah, it'll heal.
Or something of that nature. I mean, like obviously something more should have been like he should have been fucking in urgent care or
Wow.
IC, whatever the fuck. Or it's possible he was just like whatever, it's fine. We'll see what happens. That's not outside of the realm of possibility. I don't fucking remember. But whatever the case was, he comes home. Again, he has like an almost dime-sized, if I'm remembering correctly, hole in his jawbone. Like not just the hole where the tooth was. There's a chunk of bone missing. And
Oh my
as you can imagine, that's not an easy healing process. And whatever it was that did it, I don't remember, it got infected. And it got so infected that that entire side of his face swelled up like whatever cartoonishly over-exaggerated, like swollen cheek, face, jaw, whatever, you can imagine that is what it looked like. And complications arose. I don't remember what they were. It might have been like the infection was like spreading up the bone of his head or something. And it got so infected that if we had waited, I think like a day longer in like getting him to the hospital, it would have killed him.
Jeez.
Wow.
So
Wow.
if I can remember the name, and I remember like there was a whole process of like, I don't think he was like going to sue her, but there was definitely some legal shit going on, and memory serves, he totally won that one. But yeah, if I could remember the name of the place and the bitch that did it, I would absolutely put them on full blast right now, because fuck them, they deserve to have their fucking licenses revoked after that shit.
Oh my God. That's terrible. That's literally god awful terrible.
That's why I don't want to get my wisdom teeth removed. I don't want there to be a chance that they take out a fucking chunk of my jaw and they're just like,
Well, like that wouldn't have happened if they like fucking went about the procedure for. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know all the details, but I have no reason to believe, what was told to me was a lie, because I saw the fucking results for myself. But like, obviously, there are procedures and ways to get like, difficult teeth out that don't involve yanking on it like a goddamn cartoon character. So like, it's not even like, it's like, generally speaking, that shouldn't happen, assuming the person doing the procedure is doing it like it's fucking supposed to be done. So it is what it is.
Dude, that
I'm definitely in the same boat of like, I know that the chances of that exact thing or something that similar happening to me are like less than a fraction of a percent, but like, still not zero. So
that's funny, because the same thing kind of happened to my uncle in the sense that he went to get his wisdom teeth removed, and he did it where he was just numbed out, but he was awake. Which
I know they do that. I know they do that in situations where like they either don't have to that they don't have to do the gum cut and peel, or like if total anesthesia wouldn't work for you for whatever reason. So
yeah, so he described it as this guy was one guy in a room, maybe another guy, but definitely one guy couldn't get one of the teeth out, so he, as he described it, had his arm around his head and was trying to pull this thing out, like you're trying to pull something. Like you're trying to pull something out of your laundry and it's at the bottom and you're really like trying to pull really hard. But this is a dude's head. And I was like, what were you thinking to yourself? And he said, I was thinking to myself, we were cavemen at one point. I think we've come farther than this, but I guess not.
to be fair, cavemen did do brain surgery.
the fucking
Exactly. So, but he was fine. But that did remind me about when you said they had to like hold his head and really pull, like get the foot in there. That's like what happened to my uncle.
Could you imagine?
To a certain extent.
Could you imagine? They're like, this tooth is not coming out. We need Plan B. And all of a sudden, you hear a truck backing up, and they tie a winch to the fucking dude's tooth and like belt him down to the chair. And they're like, "All right, Jim, floor it." And then he just.
That's like the plot of a Robert Munch book, I think.
Funny, what's funny? I can actually see the exact like skit of this playing out. They're like, well, John, it's not working this way. We're gonna have to try something a little bit more drastic. And the dude just in the chair like, what's that? And then in the distance you hear like a low rumbling, very low rumbling. No. This is before that. This is before that. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
like, and the dentist is like leaned over. He's got like an elbow on the knee, and he's like, "Well, John, you know that thing you would do when you were a kid, when you had a loose tooth, where you had, the dental floss and a doorknob?" And then John's going like, "Yeah." And then it's at that moment you start to hear the truck beeping.
Oh my god. No, I
Is he
can
like
totally see
standing
that
in
being
front of
like
the
a.
window?
What was that?
That reminds me of this one Far Side Gallery thing by Gary Larson, which is
Fucking awesome shout out. Love that shit.
yeah. So like, there's one where it's like a dentist and he's got like a million different things in the one dude's mouth, and he's like, "Well, now, Mr. Anderson, just for the sake of curiosity, we're going to see if we can fit this tennis ball in there."
Oh, you know.
But
Oh, sorry, Stone. Go ahead.
I do remember, for some reason, a long time ago, my sister had to get a tooth pulled, and apparently they did some more extensive X-rays on her teeth, and supposedly she had 4 teeth, and they were all growing on different parts of her mouth, and they were messing up her other teeth. So they had to pull all 4 teeth out of her mouth.
Okay.
And she wasn't going to be, no nothing. She had to be awake, and only 1 tooth was loose. So they had to pull 3 teeth that were not loose at all in her mouth, completely out. And me and my mom were just sitting in the waiting room, just listening to her. It sounded like she was being tortured in like a Jigsaw movie, and there's just nothing you can do about it, because they have to do it. They have to pull the teeth out, and they couldn't, knock her out for some reason. But 1 of the 4. So when you get your 3rd tooth pulled, you're still not done. You got another tooth coming, dude. Like,
My mom
felt
had me go with her to the dentist once. Now this has just turned into dentist stories. Like shit. No, one time
right.
I went with my mom to the dentist because she had to have not have a tooth pulled, not have a root canal, not have a crown, not nothing. Literally just like have her teeth cleaned and like 1 filling. And my mom like hates needles. So like we went to this doctor in like fucking like I don't even remember what part of town. It was far away from home though. And like it was this nice little Indian lady, and she had done lots of work on my dad's dad before, and she's very nice. She's not the best dentist in the world, but gets the job done. And my poor mom, I'm sitting there with her. I'm on my 3DS playing VVV because I'm just bored as hell. And she's not even like, she's taking the little sickle thing and like poking my mom's gums to like see if she's got like gingivitis or whatever. And my mom is just screeching like a banshee because she's just like so scared of the dentist. And at one point, the lady just goes, "If you're gonna keep screaming like this, I'm not gonna do the procedure. I have other people like in the waiting room. They're gonna hear you. Like I'm not even doing anything. Like calm the fuck down."
That's
like,
pretty funny.
Like I could just see out of the corner of my eye, I like peeked my head around the corner, and it's like people are just staring into the office from the waiting room, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" Yeah, like nothing's happened yet. So like,
Dude, you should have did that thing where you put your finger across your throat. Just been like, "Dude, you got to get out of here." Or something like that.
No, fuck that.
Just mess with the people.
I mean, that'd be funny, but I wasn't gonna do that to tarnish the reputation of this doctor that never did anything bad to me. So like, I just put my hand on my mom's ankle and like kept it there literally the entire time, and I was just like, "Mom, take a fucking chill pill. You'll be fine." And she's like, "Okay." And then she got through it, and she was like, "Wait, that was it?" It's like, what was I even scared for? And I'm like, how about that?
Oh, how about that?
Never...
How about Danny?
How about Danny's? Babe, once my business takes off, let's go to Danny's.
Thanks, Darman viewers.
You guys?
Do we have any Darman fans out there?
If you are, unsubscribe right now. We don't need you.
I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that.
Brock, do you know who Darman is?
The
Just say
name rings
no.
the bell, so probably.
He's
You've probably seen him on
he's this
Facebook.
guy on Facebook who makes these like those videos, like the video of the old
Hold on, I'm gonna
Chinese
look up a
man?
picture.
The guy
Uh-oh.
he like those videos on Facebook that it's like
Oh, that asshole.
oh, the little Chinese kid, he stole medicine because his mom was sick, but then the shop owner gave him the medicine for free, and then years later the shop owner has a heart attack, and the doctor that
Is it this motherfucker?
yeah, Darman, that guy.
Yeah.
So, well, those feel-good Facebook videos where it's like, be kind, it could save a life, and like,
Yeah,
like kindness always comes back to whoever gave it or whatever the fuck. Like, it's true, but
Yeah,
those
I
videos,
know those ones.
those videos are like so forced sometimes, and this Darman guy makes the most forced videos like that. So there's this video of this like glasses-wearing dweeb with this like fucking like Victoria's Secret model girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh babe, where do you want to go to dinner tonight?" And she goes, "I'm thinking steak and wine." And he's like, "Oh, that's a bit expensive. How about Danny's?" And then she's like, she looks at him and she's like, "You expect me to go to fucking Denny's?" And he's like, "Well, babe, once my business takes off, I'll take you wherever you want." And she's like, "Fuck that." And like,
You won't.
and at the end of the video, it's like he has a new girlfriend who like supports him and his business took off, and like the old bitch is super jealous, and it's like, "Hi guys, Darman here. You should always be there for somebody if you want it back," or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, our friend Russell is obsessed with him, so he keeps sending us fucking videos of this Darman guy, and it's like, we don't fucking care. We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care what happens
these
to
really
the dweeb in the video. It's all fake. We don't care.
I know
It
it's
sounds
these
like
really.
those bold guy videos from like 2013 YouTube.
Oh my god. No, but they're like these really basic messages that you learn from VeggieTales, and now you got Darman repeating it. You're not learning anything new, and the acting is not that great, to be honest.
Oh no, the best actor is that dweeb guy, but for all the wrong reasons. Oh god.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
So, yeah,
Darman.
that's
Yeah,
Darman.
Russell, I know you're never gonna watch this podcast, but if you do, yeah, there you go. How about Denny's? Are you happy?
I think
I have a quick
Darman would be the arch nemesis of our good friend Ding Quan.
Fucking ding. Anyway, back to injury stories. Brock, you got any more injury stories? Because we are getting
Yeah.
up there in time, but like at this point, it's like, fuck it, why not just go like super long?
Sure, I can
Well, I'm
sort of
gonna.
tell one
gonna-
more here, and then we can sort of start looking
Oh
at tying
shit,
it off.
that's right. At 9, your girlfriend comes. That's like 7
Yeah.
minutes from now. Shit. All right.
So I'll tell a short one. It's hilariously also teeth related. When I
Teeth-related?
was a younger kid, me and my brother were at a swimming pool, and my brother's a nice kid, but he's bigger than me, right? Like he's always been bigger than I am because I'm super short and super skinny and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he jumped into the pool without looking, and I was underneath
Uh-oh.
where he jumped in, and he like dove in almost head first. So
Oh my
he
God.
landed with his open mouth on my head, and I got injured from him landing teeth first on my head. That was a couple stitches, and it's been one of those
Oh.
things where I've never quite like I'm at the point where I'm not upset about it anymore, but like as a sibling, I have to give him some grief about it here and there.
Oh, dude, I'd be pissed. Are you kidding me? I'd bring that up every single day. Like, dude, you took a bite out of my head. What's wrong with you? You owe me Starbucks. Let's go. You're buying.
So,
No, I
in case
don't.
anyone wondered about the long hair, there's the reason.
It's to hide the bite marks on your head.
It's
Yeah,
like some terrible Five Nights at Freddy's lore where it's like the bite of 2008.
That, or people are gonna be like, dude, that's like some kinky shit, and you're like, no, you don't understand. My sibling did this to me when they jumped into a pool.
No.
What's wrong with you? That's like fucked up, man.
No.
You don't say that.
I was gonna say, just like spin it and be like, oh yeah, dude, I was like outside of fucking, I was outside of Cracker Barrel one night, and all these guys tried to jump me, and they were all high on crack cocaine. and they fucking one of them tried to bite me and they bit me on the head, so I knocked him clean out, and that's how I got this cool ass scar on my head.
You know who does have a story about that, and who is? I should tell you because I was telling you he was MIA. Kaz is back.
Nice.
And Kaz has a story like
nice.
that.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that he's back.
Yeah, he got his Wi-Fi back finally.
Nice.
But he was coming back from his job at the farm, and he stops at the 7-Eleven from the one bus before he like walks the last distance out to where he lives, I guess, the way he's told it. And there's always this one crackhead who, like, if you make eye contact with him, will just like start shit with you outside of the 7-Eleven near where he lives. And Kaz had been given some like frozen vegetables and stuff from his boss at the farm because he was being a nice dude and was like, hey Kaz, why don't you take this home with you? So some important context here. Kaz is mute. He cannot like negotiate verbally with people like when this kind of thing happens. So this crackhead starts just like bum rushing towards him, and Kaz panics, grabs a frozen cabbage out of the bag, and just decks this guy with it, knocks him out cold.
Wow.
So it's been this recurring joke that like me and some other people that went to school with Kaz, like we jokingly like send him images of cabbages and stuff, and I drew him holding up a cabbage like Conan the Barbarian once, just because it's such a goddamn good story.
Oh my, dude!
Yeah, I can throw whenever we get to another point. I just remembered another one I can throw out.
Let us show you to the door.
Let us. Oh my god. No, Alex, that reminds me of Michael Lewis and the Orange.
Oh my fucking. No, we already told that story on the episode he guested on. So, hey, look for that. Look for the episode with the weird ginger kid with the fucking kawaii eyes, and then the piece of shit with the glasses. That's the episode you're looking for.
I remember that one.
This is like Michael with the orange, and what was this guy's name?
Oh, my friend Kaz.
Yeah, Kaz. Okay, so Michael in the orange and Kaz in the lettuce, or lettuce or cabbage? Lettuce.
It was a cabbage.
I just said cabbage, lettuce because it's whatever. It's all vegetable. I don't care.
It's crunchy water.
Yeah.
Honestly, Drac, that is the best way I've ever heard it described. I gotta use that in the future.
It was especially crunchy when it was frozen and hucked at a crack addict at several miles per hour.
And not just that, but it was
that's just extra crunchy, extra water.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, I think, if you guys have some more stories, that's fine, but Stone's gonna have to take off here for a second, so...
I would say, yeah, I've got one fairly recent one that I can throw out real quick, and, actually, before I do that, I've got a minor thing that happened, like, earlier, before this happened, that's, like, a quick thing. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but it's fucking awesome that it happened.
Alright.
So prior to when we started doing this, I went over to the, convenience store that's also like a liquor store. Real classy joint. It's attached to a sports bar up the street because I needed to get a pack of smokes and something, whatever. And then after I get my shit and whatever, the guy behind the counter I recognized from when I was still working at Kroger. It's been like a year and a half since I've seen this guy, but he would always come in like the middle of the night, and he would look for a specific kind of bread. I want to say, not that it like matters, and I'm not gonna like try and like guess and be wrong. I'm just going by what I think. I'm pretty sure he's Pakistani, only because of what the kind of bread was. It was a pita bread, and like if he was Indian, it would have been naan, but it's whatever. Doesn't matter anyway. But he would always come in and always ask for a specific kind of frozen pita bread, and I would always, after like the third time it happened, I was always like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure that bakery puts in an extra order so that we have these for you. And this was an ongoing thing. But I would always make sure we had at least 2 or 3 in the back for him when he came in. Fast forward a year and a half later, ish. Haven't seen or interact with the guy past this. I go in there, he's the guy ringing me up for my shit. So he do everything and all that, and I get my stuff. And he fucking throws a thing of Fireball in the bag, and he goes, "This is on me." Have a good day, buddy. Oh my, like, holy shit, I just got free fucking fireball. What a fucking bro. And it's like, Jesus Christ,
Wow.
you remembered this shit that far back? Like, that just warms my black little
That
heart.
is a Darman moment if I've ever heard one.
A Darman moment.
And like, I'm like, dude, like, what a fucking bro. I love it. But okay, the injury. I just thought that was a cool ass thing that happened to me earlier.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I paid for a bottle of wine and I got a thing of fireball for free. I'm not gonna complain. But no, the injury story, and it actually relates to the reenactment. I mean, I know I've talked about this in like the text, but I've never like, you know, for the sake of this. So this was when I was still maybe a month in to doing it. So basically, because it's, you know, you do like the crafting side, the like living history side, and you have the combat side. Obviously, for the combat side, there's a whole slew of like procedures and regulations so that it can be done safely in the best way, so nobody gets like hurt for unnecessarily. One of those is you have to be steel tested for every kind of weapon, so like sword, axe, spear, little knife, really long axe. You have to be, and that's basically just like you practice with something that's not metal until you're good enough with it, and then you do like a 10-minute gauntlet where you have like 5 other people who are like more advanced than you, and they're like judges per se, and basically they just round robin you non-stop and don't give you a second to breathe. Basically, run as an endurance test and be like, can you be super worn out and still use this safely? Is the big concern. And you have to do that for everything. So I was about a month in, and I was at a joint encampment event up in Indiana. And there was like 60 people there, and we were going to do a bunch of people's steel tests up there, and I was one of them. So I'm up there doing sword. So I've got the sword and I've got my shield. This is a thing of note because the first time I made the shield, I was thinking, oh, I'm small. I should make it super thick, you know, 1/2 inch thick wood instead of 1/4 inch. So that'll like beef up, you know, compensate for I don't have a lot of mass. Bear in mind, these things are 30 inches across. So, you know, 30 inches, 1/2 an inch thick on the end of my fucking arm. A lot heavier than it sounds, and it wears your arm out quick. So we're going through it, and I'm like, maybe 2 minutes in, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta use a different shield. Like, I physically can't keep this up enough. It's wearing my fucking arm out too much. So I swap out, and somebody's like, here, use mine. Which is smaller diameter, 1/4 inch thick. It's a lot easier to move. Well, I'm saying it, but the boss, which is like the little metal dome in the center where your hand goes inside like a pocket. The one on that one was like super not like deep. So I had to take the glove off that I had on, the big, you know, protective like hockey fencing glove, to be able to hold it properly. And my knuckles are up against the inside of the dome. This is important.
Jesus Christ!
Yikes.
Wow.
So I make it through to about just shy of like minute 7. I'm fucking worn out. And one of the guys from my group comes in with his signature weapon, which is basically it's a pole the size. It's the Dane axe, so it's a pole the size of a like 6 or 7 or 8 foot spear, and it's got a big ass axe head on the end of it. He's fucking stupid good with this thing, and he's really quick. He's just a fucking champion at just doing little pokes. It's great. So he comes back in with that, and we're going again. And I guess somehow he does a really hard. Well, not really for him. He's fucking 300 pounds, like 6'5", but he does a really solid hit, and it lands right on the fucking middle of the boss, right where my knuckle is. I drop the shield because this shit hurts. I drop the shield. They call time, like stop the clock. And I'm looking at the hand, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that knuckle is already purple and bleeding, so skin was torn. Which, you know, torn skin from blunt force trauma is never fun. And they're all like, are you okay? Do you need to, like, call this? Because remember, I'm, like, on minute 7 of 10. They're like, do you need to call it? Do you need to do it again later? Do you need to go to the hospital? Like, I'm looking at it, and I'm, like, you know, gingerly, like, you know, like, got the finger in the hand. I'm like, okay, is it still bending? Can I, like, roll the joint around in, like, a little circle without, okay, no, that hurts like hell. And then I'm coming to the attention, I'm like, well, I can still kind of move it. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And he's sitting here thinking he broke my knuckle. So he's like, did I break your knuckle? Are you okay? Are you okay? And at that moment, I'm like, okay, no, you didn't break it. You just dislocated it. I'm like, do you need us to call it? And I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm just so used to fucking hand injuries and, like, because I have arthritis and, like, bone pain. It's like, whatever. Like, do you need to stop? Do you need to, like, call it? I'm like, No, I said I was gonna do my 10 minutes. Even if the last couple minutes are gonna be fucking awful, I'm gonna finish out my 10, and then I just immediately pop it back into place, pick the shield back up, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
Oh my god.
Wow. Oh,
Now, granted,
nice.
those last 3 minutes were so bad that they, in their words, I passed it, but I also failed it. So like, I passed the sword side, like being tired and being able to use safely. I failed on like shield control because like I couldn't grip it right. I couldn't. Because, by that point, even though, I popped it back in, the pain is still shooting up my arm. So, like, I can't keep the shield out in front of me. So I'm, like, elbow bent, and it's, like, pancaked up against me, which you don't want, because that doesn't protect you. And it's just bad form, and it's easy to knock you over. So, like, I'm literally pancaking the shield and, like, half dropping it, because, again, dislocated knuckle. I mean, I half popped it back into place, but it's whatever. So I finish up my 10, and they're like, okay, we're passing you for, like, the sword, so, like, you're good to use sword, but we want to retest you after your hands up good for shield control. And immediately I'm totally fine. I'm like, yeah, no, even if you guys said didn't want me to, I would have strongly advocated, no, I want to be retested because that a fucking freak fluke. And then I did it again a week later and passed it and passed it with flying colors. So it's like, it's whatever, but it's to the point that I'm the second person that Zane has done some kind of like fucked up knuckle related injury, I think with that same Danax too. So the Danax now has the nickname of Knucklefucker.
I thought you said Zane, and I was like, what the fuck did he do?
Different Zane. I feel like they would get along though. They're very similar people, like personality wise. But the joke, the in-joke, yeah, but the in-joke is extended so far that without telling him, like one of the girls in like our immediate like Kentucky group, we all knew about it, but Zane didn't. She went on like Etsy, and she ordered him knuckle bones from I think a deer, 2 of them, or maybe it was a cow, and drilled holes in them and made him a necklace that she's gonna give him when he like gets a rank up or something. So literally gonna give him a necklace of knuckle bones.
Lovely.
This man collects.
The stud.
This guy has got knuckle proficiency. He'd be like the guy in Fallout New Vegas who just punches. Nothing.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And this guy that we call Knucklefucker, but he goes by his other nickname, Tiffany.
His name on my name on the streets. If you hear the name, run like hell.
Yeah, here he is without all of his shit on. He's a brick shithouse.
How about that?
Let me see.
Dyes hair blonde.
Wow. That's Knucklefucker?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I have to say
I would hang out with him on a Tuesday night, go to B-dubs and watch a Coyotes game.
Oh yeah,
and,
no, he's a chill dude. I love him.
But could he win a fight against Darman?
Probably.
No, but he would make like a.
No, he probably. I can almost guarantee you he could win a fight against Darman, and he could be super safe while doing it during this time of pandemic because you see the Danax is over 6 feet long, and he's really good with it. So he could beat Darman in a fight while maintaining social distancing.
And he's like, hey, guy, Darman here, and you know what?
Also, Darman is 5'10" and Zane is like 6'5", so add a 7-foot axe, an axe on the end of like a 7-foot pole with that height advantage.
Here's the life lesson for today: just don't get into a fight with people from medieval reenactments. It's not cool. I can't feel my legs
And
anymore.
as he's doing, no, like as he's talking, you just see, like the camera pans slightly over Darman's shoulder, and you just see Zane in the background, just steadily getting closer and closer, just running top speed with the axe over his head.
Like
And then
dabbing
you don't
at
see it, but then you
poison.
don't see him get close until like you just start to see the top of the axe just come up from behind Darman's head as he's getting closer, and then it just.
Just
Oh man.
Darman's last
Videos
video.
taken moments before disaster.
That's
Hi,
good.
my name is Chills, and today we're going to be looking at 10 videos taken moments before disaster.
Actually, real quick, I actually have a story of Zane's, and I'm gonna tell it wrong, but this is the greatest revenge at work story I've ever heard. I don't know why this reminded me. He also used to work at Kroger, and he dealt with the same amount of bullshit. I don't remember all the details, and like I said, I'm just doing it quickly. What he did, and as his like, I'm quitting revenge, was he went and he shit.
Oh no.
He shit on his boss's desk.
He pulled a
Hold on, it gets
What?
better. Hold on, it gets better. So again, remember, Zane is like, almost 6.5 feet tall, and I want to say he's a hefty motherfucker now, but he used to be bigger, and was at this point in time. So I'm just gonna let you imagine the kind of shit it was.
Oh Jesus.
Oh
Like
my God.
73% like liquid. It was not a good shit. It was not a solid shit. So the way he described it was like the boss's desk was like half like catty cornered in like a wall. Like there's desks that were like they come out of the wall and they've got like the fucking grommets for cords and whatnot. So he went and he just like popped a Slav squat on top of this desk and just went nuts. And it was like, again, mostly liquid, so it like seeped and got like into the crevices and the cracks and got stuck or whatever. And then he quit and left. Now that's not even the best part. The best part is basically he got caught. It was in full view of the cameras, and they were gonna have his ass. No pun intended. And it apparently took like a shitload of time to clean the liquid parts up. Which
No
is
pun
amazing.
intended.
Right. This is where it gets amazing. They pretty much had him dead to rights. But the manager, prior to the health and safety, whatever the fuck the division of like corporate was that would handle this kind of thing, like the day or two prior to them, maybe it was 3 days, coming to basically collect the turd as evidence, as you do, because they had to do it. Like they were looking at pressing charges, so like you have to get it as evidence. So prior to them doing that, the manager or whoever took it, put it in a freezer bag. Now you would think you would put this somewhere, obviously like in a freezer or something, because obviously, but like where it's not going to be in anybody's way, so they could just come collect it, go on their way. No. He stored it in the back dock. Now any of you who've ever been in a back dock in a store or warehouse know how hot and humid those fucking things get, no matter what time of year it is. He stored it back there. He literally threw it on one of the like plastic like stacky racky things right next to a bunch of bread. So when Kroger's people came together, and I have no shame in saying it's Kroger, fuck them, I don't work for them anymore. So if I ever have to go back, I'm screwed. But he did that.
I'm screwed.
And he took the turd and he literally threw it right next to a bunch of food product and left it there, and it festered and just got horrifying. So of course, when the corporate people who handle this sort of thing, basically the evidence people, whatever, come to get it, because of the gargantuan health code violation that he did by putting it there, basically invalidated their ability to press charges.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
So he literally took a volcanic liquid shit on his boss's desk when he quit and got away with it. They had him dead to rights, and the dude fucked it up.
What a fucking stud.
Somewhere in there is an important lesson about, like, I mean, on the manager's behalf and on his behalf, like, one, it must have been satisfying, but like if he hadn't got away with it, it would have been terrible for him. And second, if you're gonna like press charges on somebody and try to get back at them, don't do something just as stupid or stupider in return.
Yeah, if memory serves, I think he even flat out said like if he fully expected to get caught and like face charges, and he was totally fine with it. Like apparently that is how deserved this revenge was.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I think I got to get going.
So you gotta.
Yeah, we gotta shit this desk.
Let's shit this
All right,
desk.
real quick, this has been a lot. This is definitely our longest podcast to date. We're at like 2 hours and 30 minutes. This is a fucking beefcake of a podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to tie it off here?
Korn and Kock rewind. Play the clip.
Here's
Kock. Awesome clip. Thank you very much, future me, for playing it. Anyway, We told dentist stories. We told work injury stories. We told desk shitting stories. We told scorpion stinging stories. We talked about Thanos and his very interesting life between Infinity War and Endgame. We talked about fucking Five Guys not being the best place to eat.
Fuck you, Rain.
It's okay, Rain. You're my friend, and I like you.
We took.
Yes, you are my friend, even though you have shit taste in burgers.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, it's cool for you. If you like it, just don't start claiming it's the best place to eat ever, because that is actually wrong. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. Thanks for stopping by, Drac and Brock. Appreciate it.
Thanks
cool
again.
Yeah,
It was
cool
a lot
to
of
have you
fun.
guys here.
For sure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we're gonna do it again.
Always
we're
fun
gonna
talking
We're
with you
doing
three.
it again tomorrow. Get ready. Just kidding.
Good
Yeah,
times.
maybe we'll get to episode 69 faster if you just have the two of us and we just crank the shit out.
Well, we will have you guys on again because this was cool. It was cool double team. But we'll see what the
Wouldn't be
future
my
holds.
first time.
Anyway, wash your hands, wash your ass. Don't shit on your boss's desk. Unless you really, really want to and are willing to accept the consequences.
Especially wash your hands after that.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. It was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, always good shenanigans when it's a bunch of us.
You are welcome, guys. Anyway, Stone, any last closing words?
Take care. Stay safe out there, everybody. KFX has been moved to 2021, so stay tuned.
Oh hell yeah.
Wear a mask and wash your fucking hands.
It's been a fucking stud of a podcast
Why do you keep saying stud?
because it's funny.
Fuck's sake.
All right,
It's
Anyway.
funny.
but thanks again, guys. It was a lot of fun. We're gonna do it again soon.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Sounds good.
Have a good
bye.
one.
All right, bye
All
everybody.
right, get off my lawn.
But what the fuck?